What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are back with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this is going to be against Laura. Now, I battled my opponent on my Discord server, so if you guys are interested in battling in general, definitely join my Discord. We have a community going on there for battling and trading, so if you're interested in that kind of thing, a link will be in the description below. Now, looking at my opponent's team, she has a very threatening underused team, because this is an underused tier battle. She has regular Metagross, hopefully, Alola Ninetales, Chandelure, Latias, Mega Sharpedo, and Clefable, as I'm using Mega Beedrill because it just got released, and I figured why not use it. I'm using Walrein, Scrafty, and Reuniclus, which are all Assault Vest actually, because I figured why not run triple Assault Vest for it, because it's fun as hell. And I'm also using Dragon Dance, Flygon, and Slash Lead Infernape, so I assume my opponent would want to lead off with her Metagross or her Alola Ninetales instead of the Aurora Veil slash Stealth Rocks respectively, so I decided to lead off with my Infernape, as she does lead off with her Metagross. So turn 1, I figured she'd switch out because she has 2 counters to Infernape on her team, being Latias and Chandelure, so I choose to just go for my Stealth Rocks turn 1, just to set them up, as the Latias does come in here, and I don't want to stay in on Latias, obviously, because I'll just die, so I am going to choose to switch out and bring in my Gummy Bear, my Reuniclus, as she does make the right play going for Defog, just to immediately remove my entry hazards, because it does pressure her Alola Ninetales and her Chandelure, so that's kind of annoying. But she's going to choose to stay in here and go for Draco Meteor. I am Assault Vest Reuniclus, so I should be able to tank it pretty nicely, as I do, thankfully. And now I'm going to be able to go for the Future Sight here, just to cast the attack and pressure whatever she wants to bring in now, because she's at -2 special attack. And she's going to be forced to withdraw, bring in her Q Blizzard, her Alola Ninetales, as she's going to set up the Hail. And here I do decide to actually go for the Shadow Ball, just because I wanted to weaken the Latias a little bit, as the Shadow Ball does do a decent chunk to the Alola Ninetales. And I do take Hail damage here because I am Regenerator Reuniclus instead of Magic Guard, in case you guys are wondering. So she is going to set up the Aurora Veil here, which actually looks pretty nice. It has a pretty cool animation, as I decided to just go for Psychic here. And with the conjunction of Psychic and Future Sight, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to knock out this Ninetales. So thankfully the Future Sight finally kicks in, and it's going to knock out the Alola Ninetales. So I don't have to worry about Aurora Veil later on in the game, which is always handy. So in comes the Sharpedo, and I don't want to lose my Reuniclus yet. Considering I have Regenerator, I can just switch out and get some health back. So going to bring in my Callum here, my Scrafty, just to get the Intimidate on this thing. This is pretty much my only counter to the Sharpedo on my team, because my team isn't built the best. What a shocker. So, yeah, but thankfully the Intimidate does come through here, and I'm able to face tank that Waterfall pretty nicely, as the Sharpedo's pretty much going to be forced to withdraw because she doesn't want to stay in on me because I could just kill her, so she's going to choose to switch into her Clefable, her Cupcake, I just choose to go for the knockoff and predicting a switch, so we're able to knock off this thing's leftovers at the very least, and I don't want to stay in here and get hit by Moonblast, so I'm going to choose to switch out and bring in my Mega Beedrill directly in. Pretty risky move, but I figured my opponent wanted to go for T-Wave, so I just figured why not. I should just choose to go for Moonblast, so we're going to be able to tank that pretty nicely. And now she's pretty much forced to withdraw because Mega Beedrill can just obliterate her because she's Clefable, so she's going to be forced to withdraw and bring in her Metagross. And since the Aurora Veil is up, I know I won't be able to damage this thing too much, but since Mega Beedrill does have the very high skill cap move of Adaptability, Stab, U-Turn, I'm just going to go for that here, because even if she stayed in, I'd still get offensive momentum, so I mean, it works out for me. Mega Beedrill is one of the easiest mons to use because you just click U-turn, and if they switch out, great. If they don't switch out, they take like 85%, so it's like Pheromosa, but you actually need to use your Mega Slot for it. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I'm rambling. Infernape does come in here, and she does predict me to go for Stealth Rocks here, and actually stays in here and goes for Earthquake, bringing me down to my Focus Sash. But since I am in Focus Sash, I can now go for my Blaze Boosted Fire Blast and pretty much knock out this Metagross, assuming it doesn't carry Bullet Punch. But considering she didn't stay in here, I'm assuming she doesn't carry Bullet Punch. So Latias does come in here, and I'm going to go for the Endeavor here, as we're going to bring down the Latias to 1 HP, which is pretty nice, considering Latias is a pretty bulky Pokemon. And now, I'm going to bring in my Reuniclus here. Ashley's going to choose to go for a Defog here, just to remove my entry hazards again, because it is pretty annoying for a Chandelure to switch, and since it's likely Scarf Chandelure, just be slightly inconvenient for those rocks to be up. And now she's going to choose to go for the Recover here. I thought she'd go for Draco Meteor instead, but I guess this works too. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball and just knock out the Latias. Don't know why she went for the Recover. Maybe she figured she could live one, but no, my Reuniclus is max special attack investment, dead, so not quite. So in comes the Chandelier here, and I'm going to stay in here, and because I thought she might want to predict my switch into Scrafty and go for Fire Blast, but she just goes through the safe move going for Shadow Ball. But since I'm also Assault Vest, I know I could just face tank whatever move she wants to go for, as thankfully we're able to tank the Shadow Ball. And now I just sack off my Reuniclus, though I could have probably saved it with Regenerator. I figured may as well to sack it so my Scrafty gets a free switching, because I still have no idea if this Chandelier is Scarf or not. I have no way to confirm that. It could be Specs, it could be whatever. No, I'm sure if it was Choice Specs, it would have knocked me out. But I'm going to bring in my Scrafty here, and obviously she does not want to stay in on my Chandelier, so she's going to choose to withdraw and bring him back into Clefable, as I actually choose to double switch out and predicting a switch into anything besides the Sharpedo and bring in my Infernape here. So thankfully we're able to bring in Infernape directly in on the Clefable. We're going to be able to pressure with Endeavor here, so now she's going to bring back in her Chandelier as we're able to finally get up Stealth Rocks permanently, because now the Latias is finally dead, so no more defog shenanigans. We finally have Entry Hazards up permanently, so now I'm going to sack off my Infernape to the suspected Scarf Chandelier, so it is Scarf Chandelier. Good to know. So now I can just bring in my Flygon, because it is pretty much set up fodder, because it is locked in the Fire Blast, and since the Stealth Rocks are up, she really can't switch out, or else she'll just lose her Chandelier, so she's going to choose to go for Fire Blast here, as I decided to go for Dragon Dance here. Flygon actually pretty good at Dragon Dance, honestly. It does have access to pretty nice coverage with Earthquake and, you know, Fire Punch and Thunder Punch and stuff. Anyway, the Chandelier is going to go for the Fire Blast again. Unfortunately, she gets the burn. I'm just like, no. Wow, I was really sad when that happened. I'm like, this is pretty much a Flygon sweep because she has Clefable, she has Sharpedo. After 2 DDs, I could just DD on the Protect lightly, and pretty much been all set. But unfortunately, my opponent just, you know, outscaled me there, and there's not much I could do about that. So here, I decided to reveal my Earthbending move. My character's going to use the Earthbending stance, and the Flygon's going to charge its C move. And yes, it is Tectonic Rage. Now, this is pretty much the move I used after I got burned. I used Tectonic Rage. But I'm going to use Tectonic Rage, send the kid into the mantle, and just blow it up, and it only does half HP. When it probably should have just one-shot it, but, you know, you just always can't get your way, unfortunately, so whatever, not too big of a deal. So my Flygon's going to be knocked out here, unfortunately, as now I'm going to bring in my Beedrill here, and I could just go for U-turn freely here, because it should be able to knock out the Metagross or just do a big chunk, and if Clefable stays in, I could just bring back in Walrein or whatever. So I'm going to go for the U-turn here, as it's going to chunk the Metagross for pretty nice damage, because the Aurora Veil is no longer set up. So now I'm going to bring in my Walrein here, just because I figured why not. I don't want to bring in my Scrafty because I don't want to take too much damage with that Mon, because if it does take damage, I can just lose the Sharpedo, so I need my Scrafty healthy for the Sharpedo. So I'm going to go for the Brine here, knock out the Metagross from that range of health, and this is a Super Fang plus Brine set. It's meant to synergize with the Mega Beedrill and with Brine itself, obviously, because obviously if I use Super Fang on the Pokemon, that's going to be brought down to half HP, and usually Mega Beedrill is strong enough to be able to just kill things with Fellstinger, so it's pretty strong, and that's also why I carry Endeavor and Verniba on this team, is because this team is supposed to be based around the Fellstinger Beedrill getting some kills, and then, you know, just becoming very scary, but unfortunately didn't quite get my way here. As I actually decided to go for Super Fang here instead of Ice Beam or something, because I just figured it would do more, but I'm assuming Ice Beam actually would have done almost as much damage and had the chance to freeze, so I was probably better off going for Ice Beam. But whatever, I digress. I'm just going to lose my Fat Lapras here. Unfortunately, I really didn't get to do much of this game, but I'm sure I will use Fat Lapras a lot more in the future, because it is a very fun Pokemon to use. So, going to bring in my Scrafty here, my Callum, my Assault Vest Scrafty, as the Sharpedo is going to be forced out, and she's going to bring in her Clefable here, so I do predict the switch and go for Poison Jab, and thankfully we're going to be able to, you know, weaken this thing, but unfortunately it'll live, so it's pretty much a 50-50 here, because I know Clefable outspeeds Scrafty. So she's actually going to predict my switch into Beedrill and go for Flamethrower. I thought she would make a play like that, so that's why I stay in here and go for Poison Jab. It was a 50-50, honestly. She could have just went for Moonblast. She could have went for Flamethrower. It was honestly, I have no idea, but I was just rolling the dice and hoping it worked out for me. So thankfully it does. So now I can actually save my Scrafty for later and bring in my Killer Bee, my Mega Beedrill on the Scrafty. As she does decide to go for Protect, because I think she realized that she does need +2 speed to outspeed my Mega Beedrill, because I'm pretty sure Mega Beedrill does outspeed Sharpedo at +1 speed, because Mega Beedrill speed set's pretty damn high, honestly. So I'm just trying to sack off my Mega Beedrill here so I can just bring back in Scrafty. I'm just waiting for him to kill me, as finally now she decides to Mega Evolve their Sharpedo, get a bunch of teeth like Chip Skylark. That person that named their Sharpedo Chip Skylark made me die, by the way. That was so funny. But unfortunately, this person isn't as creative with their nicknames. But gonna lose my Killer Bee here, as now I'm just gonna bring in my Callum here, my Scrafty, and as long as the game does not screw me over, this game should be mine. currently 1-on-1, so this game is very intense. The Sharpedo's going to go for Waterfall. It doesn't flinch me, as we're going to be able to knock out the Sharpedo with the Drain Punch, and we're going to be able to win this game, thankfully, with the narrow 1-0 victory. So it was a very close battle against Laura. We're going to be able to knock out Sharpedo and win the game. So yeah, it was a very close game. I had a lot of fun in this battle. Thanks for the battle, Laura. I had a lot of fun, like I said. If you guys enjoyed the battle and want to see more of my content, definitely hit that like button. It really means the world to me and keeps me inspired to upload. So if you guys don't normally like the video, I really would appreciate if you just hit the thumbs up button. It really only takes a second, and it really makes any YouTuber happy to see a lot of likes on their video. So feel free to do that if you guys are feeling generous. Anyway, the question of the day is going to be, if you could live in any region, which region would you live in and why? Now, I would probably live in Alola/Hoenn because I love tropical weather. I actually love warm weather a lot, and the sun makes me feel good, so I would like to live in one of those regions, because I just like tropical weather. Probably Hoenn over Alola, because I'm not too fan of boats, and I know Hoenn has a lot of water too, but I'm sure Alola would be a little more inconvenient with the boats and stuff. But that's going to be the battle, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll check you guys in my next video. Alright, peace.